All right, good morning, welcome back to TwinStick Garage. So, unlike the last episode where I was commenting that, man, it's sure unusually warm. Well, Mother Nature must have heard me and she is not happy. So this morning, it is actually minus 42 Celsius, and with the wind, there's not much wind, but with the wind, they're saying it's minus 52. Uh-oh. Oh, there it goes. So it is cold out there. So thank goodness I'm not working outside anymore. And it's nice and warm in here, but it could be a little bit warmer. So I'll adjust the thermostat up and then can get to work. So welcome back. I got the one and only Blake from Weld Fab with us today. He's actually going to be helping me a lot on the Peterbilt. And we were just admiring the work that we've done so far on the Duke. I mean, obviously these wonderful pipes that I got a whole bunch of junk on from blowing around in the shop here. But so I was talking about in previous episodes about doing bubble windows. So I had teardrop style, and then I've been looking on eBay, and there's this, whatever, 6 hexagons shape. And then I'm thinking maybe diamonds, but then I got to thinking even more. And what do you think about this idea, Blake? What if we did a hot rod look on this and we did a chop? So we cut all the way around.
Yeah.
Could use the gantry, take out about, I don't know, 6-7 inches, and then lower the roof down and re-weld it in. I wonder what that would look like.
We could do it. It would make those pipes look even bigger.
It would, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But, yeah, that's doable.
It's doable, so what would we do? We'd have to cut it. The windows would still go up. You'd cut the door, and you'd take it out of this section here, right?
Well, the window and the cap frames, that's the hard part, right? And it's just what I've seen online, people chopping stuff. This is nice and straight, that's easy. That just takes a bit of work to make it fit exactly right, and then we might have to modify. Well, actually, you don't have to modify the glass, because that's just the old school vent window.
Yeah.
So that would be an easy one to get recut. It'd be easy.
It would be easy?
Easy. I don't want to commit to nothing, because there'd probably be
a lot of welding?
There'd be so a lot of welding and a few explicits coming from me, but it's doable if you want to, man.
Well, we'll have to think about that. We'll have to think about that. I think it would be very custom and it'd be one of a kind. Of course, one of one is what I'm kind of going with this project.
Yeah.
And I know we're deviating a little bit from the Iron Duke truck, but I mean, we've already deviated. This was never supposed to be a replica truck. It was supposed to be a tribute.
Yeah, in the spirit of it. Like, I've never heard you say a replica. It's always been in the spirit of Iron Duke. So I mean, you're still going to keep the same paint scheme, and it's still going to be in the spirit of it.
Let us know what you think about chopping it. If you want to see more videos on the Iron Duke, go check out the Patreon. But for today, we're going to go on the Peterbilt.
Don't hold back in the comments. We can take it.
We sure can. Yeah, so today the plan's going to be working on the Pete. There's a couple of things that need to be fixed up. Some old cracks in the door frame there.
I'll clean that up.
Shell.
Modify a little bit here.
Yeah.
We're going to fix up some rot in the fender. Other fender has a little bit of rot too.
Oh, back on this side. Remember the aluminum here that was all rotted out?
I brought some patches.
Sweet.
So I brought some patches, different widths of strips of 1/8 aluminum. Usually this interior webbing isn't anything thicker than, it's only about 1/8. So I'll knock that out, roll a piece, I'll weld it, we'll blend it out.
Perfect.
Won't even know.
And then at the end of the last episode there, I took that piece of steel off, and sure enough, it was ridiculously corroded in behind because of course we need a little bit of a bigger piece.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you got still got some sheet of aluminum.
Yeah, we'll go take care of that right now. We'll run out to the hangar. We'll make we'll shear a couple pieces, and then we'll get that all cleaned up.
All right, so we're just at Blake's place here, cutting some aluminum. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Line up the second mark.
Okay.
Line up the second mark.
I'll try. Something like that.
Close cups because we're cutting it big so we can shave it down up your place. And then this is a 3-in-1 machine. So this center section here goes up and down.
Yep.
And it's a shearing blade on the bottom. This is a little press brake. And then as it goes up and down, the rolls go through, or the roll spin as well. So you're going to see everything kind of cycle together.
Oh yeah.
As I do it. And then, that's that.
Cool.
So for people that haven't been or seen my channel at all, this is my hanger. So on the ground here, in all this blue plastic, this is actually the empennage for a kit plane that I'm starting to build. But unfortunately, there were some issues with the manufacturer, so the kit plane has been on pause for a little while. But we've gotten some good news recently, and I'm going to be able to start building the kit plane. Replacement parts are going to be coming, so really looking forward to that. And then if you look behind me through the glass, this is the airplane side. That's my 1967 Cessna 150 that I have yet to get Mark to come up for a flight with. So
maybe in the summer. Maybe in the summer.
Everybody, please put some peer pressure in the comments for him, because then we'll go do some cross country rips and go visit some friends.
Oh, that'd be fun.
So yeah, if you like this type of stuff, subscribe to my channel.
Yeah, you sure made quick work of that, Blake. So that won't be any big deal to weld?
Shouldn't be. There's going to be some contaminations.
Just because it's old?
Yeah, she's old. There's dirt hidden in places. Aluminum is actually quite porous. So dirt, oil, all this kind of crap
goes
gets
right on into it.
Sucked into it. And then once you put heat to it, it just starts magically starts appearing out of nowhere. So it'll look good when it's done. It's not going to be any Instagram worthy weld, but it'll hold. It's way better than the rot that was there.
Oh, that rot wasn't going to hold those pipes. I'm surprised they didn't blow off when I'm driving this truck.
I'll put that on, do some tacking, flex. It's close enough, but after she's all done and blended out, it'll be brand new. I want to be on aluminum, so we're on AC wave, AC aluminum. I'm on an advanced square. When I do the door, I'm going to do triangular because that allows the heat. On the pedal, we're about 150. We'll go up to 175. We want aluminum rods.
Now, because when we were doing the frame, you had a spool gun, right? Which just kept feeding it. So you could just give her the beans and put so much weld in there. Whereas this, you're just actually adding.
This is how I'd like to do it, but this baby don't have enough power to do a frame.
Ah, yes.
The welder I have at work does.
You need me to hold it?
Okay.
You're gonna have to put me where you want me again.
One thing that I do when I'm TIG welding is a big thing for me is being able to run the rod consistently. So I like to practice shuffling the rod through my fingers.
Oh, that's slick.
And this is what I teach young kids in the shops too. So my preferred method of doing it is I grab it with my thumb and I lock it down. And I bring my fingers in and I stretch it out. So if you can run a whole rod start to finish, then you can improve the qualities of your TIG welds.
Because you don't have to keep starting and stopping.
Exactly. When I used to build jet boats and I'd do the bow, I knew I can get a certain distance with the settings I had. So I'd actually leave rods around the bow and I'd be able to weld the whole bow without stopping. I'd have a roller chair and I'd shuffle
keep going.
I'd keep going.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. going that good. I don't want to take too much off.
Well, that's looking good.
So, gonna be hot.
Nice and toasty.
Yeah.
Okay, so should I get the 3M sealant, or we just want to set it in place first? We know it's going to fit, right?
Let's have a quick look to see.
Okay. That might be a little tricky at the end. There it goes. Oh, she's close.
Just got to get a block of wood and a hammer.
Okay, so we've been working on trying to get the ring lined up here, and we learned a couple things, didn't we, Blake?
We did. So what we learned was we had some good luck on our side. Yeah, we definitely had some good luck on our side. So we were kind of wondering about what side is actually up and down, and then we noticed these holes here.
They go right through to the channel.
Yeah, they go through to the channel, and they're drain holes, right?
Yep.
So, and the reason why we kind of instinctively put this side down was, for me, I'm paying attention to the welded seam, okay?
Okay.
Because this, the way this stuff is manufactured, this is 6061 extruded aluminum. So it gets pulled through a big set of dies.
And straight.
And these guys order it in a straight length, probably 20, 30, 40 feet, whatever they order it in. And then they'll have these really fancy mandrel benders that'll pull it to form this ring. They do one weld, blend it out a little bit, and it's good. So then they'll drill these holes in after and get their drain hole set up. They probably have a little jig just to knock them out real fast.
Yeah.
And no, we got lucky, but I like to say you got to be good to be lucky. So,
And we're not that lucky on the other side because no drain holes. So we'll have to give that one a flip. So that's good. That's a good tip for anyone that's working on this at home. Make sure you get your drain holes at the bottom. Now, setting the heights. Well, we learned another couple things. We thought that these holes were going to line up, and unfortunately they don't. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why that is. Do you think maybe the width of the cab between a 359 and a 379 is different?
there might be there might be a half inch different.
And it would have brought the rings a little farther out here, and these holes would have lined up because they're not quite there.
People were a lot skinnier when 359s were new.
That's fair. That's fair. So they made the cabs wider in the 379.
Yeah.
So the profile is still very nice and is very close to the ring, obviously.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to drill a few new holes to huck.
Yeah.
And that's no big deal because we can just fill these in when I do the body work.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about that. But what we did to set the height is we looked at where the sleeper mounts. And the sleeper actually sits on this rubber puck body mount. So we took our very high-tech square and we transferred
Don't move that out of the way.
we transferred our measurement from the bottom of the square to the top of here, and we made sure that we're nice and straight here. If we're straight here, we should be plumb here. If we're plumb here, we'll be level there. So,
And that's also setting our height because we'll take that same measurement because if that's the puck, it'll be the bottom of this guy, right?
yep,
So we need 6.5 inches to set there, and then the ring should be both exactly.
within tolerance of making it super simple. If you take the time to measure correctly,
Yeah.
even if you're out a little bit, then in the long run, then it's going to line up. But if you're out a 1/4 inch at the start, it's really hard to make up that gap.
Yeah. Well, especially in the corners. I think if your rings weren't set to different heights, this might get tricky when you're trying to push in that seal.
Exactly. So I think for any advice I could give to people to start this from the get-go is make sure you have good center lines, good reference lines off of center like you have. Mm-hmm. And that's your basis for everything. After you have your center lines, you can lay out crisscrosses, and then you can set your heights and you can start cutting the ring, and start with a good center line, a good accurate measurement. Measure in from both sides, double check, and you're set. And then you're set for success.
Well, and then the other learning that I had was you mark out the inside of the ring. Set the ring against the truck, mark the inside out, and then that's the line you cut.
Yep.
The inside diameter of the ring. Mm-hmm. Which is what I did on this side, and that's why it lines up nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we drilled all the holes, hucked it all in, and Blake got glue all over his hands.
It never fails. Anytime there's silicone that's really hard to clean off, you should see me with Never Cease.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
So showing the inside, yeah. We got all the hucks beautifully on there.
Yeah.
All the way around, and then the bottom one.
We stopped here because we have to do blind rivets carrying on with this panel that we made. And the reason we stopped here is now we're going to go to the other side. And this one, if I pop this clamp off, I can still get up and down a little bit of pivot on it. And that
get
way,
it straight.
Exactly. If we put any more rivets or anything in there, it's going to lock in. So now we want to leave a little bit of flexibility, a little bit of room to make it nice and straight.
So yeah.
We'll start at the top there. And the reason we start, if you notice in the time lapse, the reason we started on the top and worked our way down is if we started kind of going back and forth, you can end up with a big pinch point.
Yes.
Right?
And you can't get rid of that.
Exactly. So you want, in this situation, we want to kind of work our way from
force
one
all
side.
the material down to the bottom.
Exactly. So there's got room for it to go.
And we were only drilling a couple holes at a time too. Don't drill them all, because as the material gets pushed, your holes might not line up
Exactly.
anymore.
It's like you're lining up a fender. You don't tighten everything. You get everything in, and then you tighten it. So.
Okay, so we've got, obviously in the back here, we can't be putting any hucks because we can't get the little collar in behind there. So we're using what's called, these are blind rivets, right?
Yeah, I think these are maybe Huck brand, but they're essentially just a blind rivet. And they have a different style head that really matches the Huck bolts a lot better. So I borrowed this from work. Thanks, guys. Bring it back on Monday. And it just takes a couple pulls.
Uh-oh, just got to stretch it a couple times and then breaks it off.
And that's it. So
now the only difference with those is, of course, it's got the hole or where the pin was.
So,
but if a guy really wanted to change that, you could either maybe weld a little dot in there, or it would just come right off.
Just
a little bit of filler.
Just take a little finger bit of fill and put that in there.
But what was really interesting though is the hucks on the door. Remember we were looking at these and thought, well, now that I got a huck gun, I should be able to replace all of these. But these are odd because they're like a blind rivet.
Yeah.
They're not a huck, there's no collar on the inside, but there's no center. But you were thinking that maybe there was one at one point?
Yeah, like if there was one or two, I was able to actually kind of see, and you can see the circle? Like right here, you can almost see a bit of the circle on the inside and right here too. And so what it was is most likely, after you sand that down, then the material's just going to kind of fold over itself.
Yeah.
And then it's going to hide it. And these guys, like you said, they've been sanded down so many times before, and the guys kind of went to town and smoothed them out. Maybe they wanted the smoother look. Maybe they're trying to save a little bit of fuel economy with drag, but I mean, not saving much drag on these guys.
But I don't recall seeing that center circle on any Focus, on any 359 doors.
Yeah.
Which is odd.
So, and pretty much any of them, any trucks, it's just, it might be one of those small details that you never notice until you're actually presented with the hardware.
Or do you think the primer and paint kind of...
High build primer might get in there too, right?
And just cover it up.
Exactly.
And make it look round.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Cool. So now the plan's going to be drill a bunch of holes and we'll just blind rivet that guy in.
Yeah, you're going to work on that. Okay. I'm going to jump over here. I'm going to knock out this chunk of rot. And then I'm going to transfer it to this donor fender because the radius should be pretty typical the whole way across. And then I'm going to weld in this new piece, blend it out, hop onto, actually maybe I'll start on that side because the welder's on that side.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then do that, and then bring everything over here, weld this up,
And
finish on the
weld
door, and then blend that all out. And
that should be good because the back ring is pretty straightforward because we weren't mucking with any cab corners, so it's just drill and huck,
yeah,
which
yeah.
I should be able to do.
Yeah, you can keep hucking away on that.
Hucking away.
Yeah, and yeah, and then this will be a pretty productive day.
Yeah, sweet. Thanks, Blake. All right, so I've got it all hucked in. I used hucks wherever I could get in behind there, which wasn't easy to try and get the gun underneath there, but I was able to do that to there. And then after that, I just used the blind rivets to suck that in and hold that in place. And then of course, blind rivets all the way across. So that's all in there. Now, the only challenge that I've had so far, or something that is kind of irritating is, you know when you use anti-seize and it gets everywhere. It's kind of like with this silicone. And again, well, it's not really silicone. It's, what is it? It's 3M Marine Adhesive Sealant, 5200. And it's permanent and it goes everywhere. It just kind of squishes out from the holes. So, I mean, I'm trying to get this thing waterproofed, but again, this just goes everywhere. It gets on your hands and then you touch something and yeah, it's, it's pretty crazy stuff. But what I was doing was I was trying to find a way to actually clean it off of there. And what I discovered is the Supersol Chemex, the stuff that's in the special proprietary chemical that Supersol uses for the parts washer. I just dipped some in on a rag here, and look at that, it's taking it right off. So thanks Supersol, you guys really helped me out. Look at that, it just takes it right off of there. So I should be able to clean all of the excess up before it dries and hardens. And then I still need to do a few rivets on the other side. Oh, that's cleaning up nice. Now anything that doesn't get cleaned up and hardens, what I can do is probably just hit it with a wire wheel and clean it up. But I don't really want to chew into this aluminum because again, this is already scuffed and ready for primer. So anything that's going to save me some work down the road is a good idea. So I'll just keep cleaning this up, and then I just got to do some rivets on the other side. And I guess I still got to drill the holes and huck the top, but it's definitely getting close. Okay, home stretch on the cab ring install. All I need to do now is drill some fresh holes for the roof cap. Man, I love this tool. It makes these things so easy to go on, and they're so difficult to take off. Man, this is efficient. Oh, lost the collar there. Ready? Done. There it is, folks. It's official. One ring hucked in, and this cab is solid as a rock. For those that were saying that, oh, you're gonna have to add additional bracing, additional support, I just don't see it. I mean, there's no way that these little struts on the side there do a whole heck of a lot. As Blake was saying, this ring is what really gives it the strength. And now that it's all hucked in, oh, I'm so happy. All right. One down, one to go. But I think I'm gonna have to call the ball there, Maverick, because it is getting late in the day. And Blake had to go pick up his boys. So I'm gonna leave that for a future episode. I will show you what Blake did here though. I mean, well, you saw the time lapse, but I can't even tell where he cut and welded it. I mean, that's just amazing, amazing work. So I guess next time out, when I get Blake over here, we'll do the same thing there and cut that out. And yeah, I guess huck that other ring in that one. That one should go a heck of a lot quicker because I just have to drill all the holes and huck it into place. Again, blind rivets on the front there. I'll just double check the height is the same. But yeah, there you go, folks. One big hole ring. And new cab corners as well. So that was a long day. Probably doesn't seem like it. You guys watch these videos and like, oh yeah, that's only 20 minutes of work. Due to the magic of editing, it only looks like 20 minutes of work, but it's a whole darn day. So that's good Colorado Kool-Aid. Maybe one more sip. So special thanks to Blake for coming out and giving me a hand today and for welding that rotten corner in. Again, go check out his channel, see what he's up to over there at Fly Weld Fab, and you see some cool fabrication and other fun stuff. I want to remind everyone, if you haven't gone already, to check out the American Truck Historical Society. Go check them out at aths.org and become a member. Special thanks to the Truck Shroud company as well for sending me the rings and the boot and the cab corners. It's really starting to come together. So I really appreciate their support. And I really appreciate you, the viewer, for watching this all the way to the end. If you can go ahead and hit the like button down below. Feel free to give me a comment, good, bad, or otherwise. Appreciate everything that everyone does for me on this channel. I'm going to have one more sip of Colorado Kool-Aid. I hope to see you next week. And don't ever forget, if you got it, the trucker brought it.
This is one hell of a scenic view.